Hey guys, really excited to get spring ball started. I'm probably more excited this year than I have been in the past, just for the fact that we got a lot of new kids, a lot of young kids. You got a lot of excited freshmen, sophomore guys that's been on the scout team, that's been just begging for an opportunity. Well, that opportunity is here. That's what I told them yesterday. And so, but man, we're really excited to get this started. We'll get out on the field today at 3:45 and kick everything off. A lot of questions we've got to get answered in the next 15 practices. You know, the NCAA only gives us 15 practices in 34 days, and so we've got a lot of work to do in a short period of time before we turn these guys loose for the summer, and so we got to get things rolling pretty fast. Glaring questions, and I know you're going to ask me, so I'll go ahead and answer. Quarterback position. I sort of know where we are right now, which is we don't have one, but we've got three very good candidates that I really think a lot of. Right now, going into practice, I think Brooks Hack, to me, though, is ahead in the fact that the way he has handled the offseason program. So if he can transfer that into spring ball, he might could come out here the starter. But he's had a great offseason. He has demonstrated outstanding leadership, and he's led the other two guys in that leadership category. Both other quarterbacks, though, have worked hard throughout this offseason, and they all three will get ample opportunity to show what they can do in moving the football, managing the game, and trying to put the offense into the end zone. So I'm excited. I like all three kids. I think they're all three really good boys that care about the team, and they've worked hard. Then you go to the next question we're going to have is the center position. That's the second most pressing issue that we've got to come out of the spring. Eddie Gordon will take the first snap, and then we're going to mix and match the rest of the offensive line to see if anybody else might step up and take charge a little bit. Drew Moore will get a few snaps or get a good look coming off that injury. Hope he can be effective right out of the chute. And then Grant Hurst and Ian Bajuro, a transfer in, those guys will also get some snaps at center, and even Nick Duger. And as we try to find that first and second team and even bullpen, as I would call it, center. And so a lot of issues there. Then you flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. That's where the next questions would come, and it would be at the corner position. Once again, it's like the quarterback position. I think we've got a lot of talented kids that's going to make for some great competition. Some faces that weren't out there last year: Christian Goodlett, who we signed in December; Simeon Thomas, who was ineligible, who now is back. And so those two new faces, along with the ones back from last year, I think are going to really make for some great competition at practice. And so I like those guys. Corey Turner is now practicing at the safety position with us. So that's another quality kid we've got now that had to sit out in the fall to create some depth in the spring. So really like those guys. I really would have thought we'd had great depth at the D-line spot coming into camp because we've got a lot of quality players. But unfortunately, about 4 guys are out due to postseason or off-season injuries. So that's going to make us awfully thin. Some guys are going to have to really double up a little bit. But the thing it's going to do, and I talked to our staff, it's going to make us have to force feed some younger kids. And so they're going to get 3 times the snaps they ever would have gotten. So in retrospect, you're going to create depth there. Some of the guys that are out have played in a lot of games. And so when they get back in a month or 2 months, we'll pencil them right in. But these other kids are going to get great reps, and their development is going to be expedited quickly. And so that's one big plus. I think it's going to really add to our depth at the D-line spot, and that's one of the strong points of our team in the last few years. So, and then after that, to me, it's the kicker position. And, our only scholarship kicker will not be here until June. And so we've got a couple of Dylan Shurich, who walked on our team. I think is an outstanding kicker. We'll see how he does this spring. Bird is another good kicker. We'll see how he does. So those guys going to battle it out, and it's an opportunity. So I'm anxious to see how they compete. Anxious to see how Stephen Cooch does at the punter position. I think that could be interesting. He's Daniel Cadona made all over, so we'll see how that works. So, but nevertheless, excited about the calendar. Going to get a lot of work done. Excited about the schedule for next year. And so, but first things first, we got a lot of work to do in order to get this football team where we want to get it to. So, any questions?
Yeah, with your new defensive staff, how is that going to affect what you guys do? Are you going to keep the same system?
Well, no, it's going to be a different scheme. Melvin Smith is doing an outstanding job right now as our D coordinator, and our staff right now is as dynamic and as we have had. They're all over our guys 24/7, and our defensive guys for the first 2 weeks were walking around sort of like a deer in headlights, like oh my, look what in the world's going on, because these guys are holding them accountable. They've got a great plan. I really like the additions that we have to our staff. They're fitting in great with the rest of the staff, but they have incredible energy, direction. They're working great together. I think it is going to be a great defensive staff, which entails, I think it's going to really lead, I'm hoping, to an outstanding defensive unit. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is your system more complex than previous?
After the Kentucky game, you can tell me what you think. Nevertheless, they will be very, very multiple. And but we're going to do a lot of good things. They've been in a lot of different places and have taken from a lot of different things, and even some things we've done here. So I'm excited in the direction we're going. Sometimes change is good. Sometimes change is good, and just for the fact that it's new energy, it's new life. It gets kids out of their comfort zone, and that's the part, to me, is the most important part sometimes about change. Sometimes you can get too comfortable, and then change comes along and you have to stay on your edge a little bit. And so I think this has been a positive change, although I was very pleased with the job James did the last 2 years, but I think this is going to be a positive change. I think the expectations right now that our defensive coaches have on the players is at an extremely high level, and it's been a breath of fresh air, and so it's been really good.
For the first time, as you stated, in 3 years, there's not a Broadway or Brownville team coming back yet. How much emphasis or how much authority is coming out of spring with that starter in place, or is that something that could still be, open first week?
Well, to me, I would love to come out of spring ball with a guy that we think is going to be the starter, who's a little bit ahead, just for the fact that you got one voice throughout summer conditioning, summer workouts. You've got that one voice leading the offense, managing the workouts, the OTAs, and so we'll see. Does it have to be done? It don't have to, but would it be better if it did? I think so. But if we can't make quite a decision after 15 practices, then we'll get into the summer, and then we'll get into fall camp, because we'll have another 29 practice opportunities. At quarterback?
No, not.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'll tell you one kid right now, it's an early enrollee that's been the most impressive. It's Kamar Greenhouse at the DB position. He has been one of the fastest kids on the team, one of the best in the offseason. Been really a pleasant surprise. And so we thought he's going to be a good player, but he's really way further along we ever thought a freshman might be. And so I think that's a plus. And like we talked about also, we're still going to sign possibly 4 more players, and 2 offensive line, possibly 2 D-line. So we're not through recruiting. We've got some spots available. We got some spots that might come available. So we're going to stay on the hunt to maybe increase a little bit of depth because of some injuries. And but we'll see where we land after spring ball's over and let the dust settle and see if we're feeling pretty good with what we have. Yeah, who is it? Douglas, Roderick Stevens, Taboris Lee. You caught me without having this in front of me, but yeah, I think it is 4. And so obviously that makes our depth a little bit less. It is just the way the calendar fell. We wanted to get everything done before spring break, and so but this allowed us to come back that one practice after the game, work on special situations and work on some things that we didn't get covered, and still continue, because our spring game is going to be an in-depth scrimmage. Last year we had 22 seniors, a lot of vets had started for 3 years, and it was about getting them through the spring game healthy. This spring game will be an in-depth evaluation of some guys, and so it'll be some great work.
So many newcomers, in many ways, it's kind of like your first year, but where you put them in a lot of spots, but you had a better routine.
Yeah, you know, we got a young team right now. We've got a very excited team. We got a youthful team, and to be honest with you, a lot of times that creates a lot of energy. Sometimes when you're around young kids, that energy comes out. They love competing, they love going to practice. They hadn't had a chance to start yet, so they're fighting for that spot. They want to get on the plane. They don't want to run out there with the ones. So that part is always fun, and so I'm anxious to get out there with them.
With that and coaching staff, do you feel like this may make a new chapter because there's so much change?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I think every year is a different chapter. I think every season's a different chapter, regardless of you know, the situation, because you have a new team every year. We've got 30. We'll have 30, 35 some odd new players, counting walk-ons, scholarship players every year, and so that's 1/3 of your team is new. So how can you put those pieces together? How are they going to fit in with what you're doing? How are they going to work? Can you develop them in time? Are they going to have the same work ethic? Or is our new seniors, our new upperclassmen, are they going to be the leaders that we've had? And only time will tell. And that's what's so great about this. We've got time to build it, and we'll see if that foundation will stand up to the test this fall. Yeah, you know, he would be that situation of some of the kids last year. You know, he's still not totally released, and so he'll be limited early. And then we're going to get him some quality reps in reduced settings, such as one-on-one situations, maybe some pass Skelly. But as far as Jamal Robinson running out and being tackled an awful lot, that might be a good way to lose your scholarship. And so, needless to say, he'll get plenty of quality work, but he's earned his pay, and so we want him to come out of spring 100% ready to go to the fall.
2.5 months since your last game. Have you seen anybody progress physically as a football player, just like
You know, some of our offensive linemen, to me, Nick Duger, Goodacre, Jesse Freeman, they've changed their bodies a little bit over the course of the fall winter conditioning, lost some weight, moved some weight from down here to up here, so we're looking a little bit better, more like a quality offensive line in some spots there. So we got a lot of guys, though. It's just continued maturing, and you can see all their bodies maturing, especially the younger kids, and they'll be out there at practice carrying more weight and more muscle than they have in the past, so that'll be exciting, especially the true freshmen that came in last fall. They're totally different kids than they were this time last August.
But you also, running back, you lost a big piece of production there with Alonzo. You don't really have a lot of big backs that come from, how much in the season of wide as you already know, but going far for running back, you got Ford coming back from injury, you've got Harris going, so you got the position that you
Well, you know, we've had great production from Ephraim Reed, so he'll get some quality reps this spring, because he's still, you know, he wants to fight to be in that rotation with Elijah and Montrell Carter also. But also we're going to give Walter Williams some good luck too. Walter is that big back. He is, I think he's like 1 or 2 pounds bigger than Alonzo was at this time in Alonzo's career. And so he's in that same frame. When you see him walking down the hall, he looks like a younger, thin Alonzo. And so hopefully he'll continue maturing and beefing up. But he's going to get an opportunity this spring. So I'm anxious to see how he does along with the other guys. Because those other guys, Torrey Pierce and Ephraim Reed and Montreal, they've all been productive when we've called upon them. No, just the one with the defensive line with Taboris. Other than that, really solid off season. We got some guys that's got to grow up a little bit from a maturity standpoint mentally, and if those guys can get it together, then this football team can be really, really exciting. But I've challenged already some of those guys, and you always have a few guys that you always try to figure out, and if I can't figure it out and they can't figure it out, then I'm going to let somebody else figure it out. So we've got a couple of guys that know that they're on alert, which is a good thing, because I expect them to come out to practice and work really, really hard. So, but like I said, 99% of our football team, though, has just had an unbelievable off season. It's just the ones that you're trying to mold, trying to be that mentor, trying to change some lives and get them to a point where they can help themselves and help our football team. That's the challenge. If everybody was first team academic, All-American and All-American, probably wouldn't need coaches. We could just roll it out there. But that's the challenge in coaching, is you've got different guys that need different leadership and guidance. And so that's what we've been doing. Our staff's been doing a great job of working on that. So we'll get there. All right, guys.